Hey guys! Quite a few of you seemed interested in seeing another Polly Pocket tutorial, so that's what we're making today. This time we're making one of the tiny houses, which has a bit more detail, and then we are also making a simple doll to go with it. Hope you'll enjoy. First you want to take some mold putty, mix it up, and then let it set. And you then want to cut out a square shape, which is going to be the size you want the inside of the house to be. Place that on a really thin sheet of clay and begin making the bottom of the house. For this you want to cover the bottom portion of 3 of the walls, and then you want to cover the entire back wall. You also want to cut a hole where the door is going to be and then pre-bake. After pre-baking you want to make the second half of the house, and this is just going to cover the rest of the square shape. Finish cutting the hole for the door and then replace it with the door in one piece. You want to make sure the door sticks to the top half of the house and not the bottom. Cut holes for the windows and add some tiny strips of clay for the window frames, then bake again. When making the roof, you want it to be just as tall as the rest you've built so far, so you want it to be half as tall as the total height of the house. And because this was a bit difficult to film, I just demonstrated how to make the pattern of the roof on a piece of scrap clay. You want to pre-bake again before adding the hinge, and for this you want to make it the same way as in my other Polly Pocket tutorial. So you want to add a thin sheet of clay around a thin piece of wire. For me I'm using 0.25mm wire, then cut it into 3 pieces. Use white craft glue to glue the center portion of the hinge onto one side of the house, and glue the 2 outer portions of the hinge onto the other side of the house. Let that dry, add some liquid clay to hold it in a bit better, and then bake again. Next I made the base for the house, which is basically just some grass, a path and a fence, and also a few super detailed flowers, aka blobs of clay. After baking one last time, you can paint the house using acrylic paint. You can then make some simple furniture. For the coffee table, I didn't really get a good shot of the finished table, but I did add 4 legs. And for the bed, I pre-baked all 3 pieces before putting them together. Add some painted on details to the inside using acrylic paint, and then seal with a matte glaze. Lastly, I made a simple doll, and for this you want to be careful not to squish it down onto the surface you're working on because you don't want the back to be flat. I pre-baked it before adding the hair and making the stand. And I then pre-baked again before using liquid clay to attach the doll to the stand. Bake one last time, use acrylic paint to paint the face, and you're done.